is the first ride with the seat reshaped. Right off the bat, I'm noticing that the seat does feel nice and wide. It's hugging my butt more evenly on the sides. It's more spread across the entire area rather than having a pressure point in the middle. I think the only problem now is that I need to lower the middle part of the seat and lower back. Not the little corner where it drops down to a 90-degree corner, but the flat part, I think it might need to be dished out a little bit. Otherwise, it feels a lot better. I'm not getting the middle part of the seat pushing on my tailbone, so that's a huge improvement. But only time will tell. I'm not going to poke with it until I know for sure if there are changes that need to be made. So, overall, pretty well. I had an old Ducati perforated jacket that had faded pretty horribly. I bought it back in 2007 when I got the 1098, and while it did look kind of cool because it had that genuine, hey, I'm a motorcyclist and I ride like crazy fade to it, where it was like streaky brown and gray because the gray dye had sun bleached. Well, that was kind of cool. It did look pretty haggard. So what I ended up doing was dyeing it black with some phoebing, I think it was, phoebing dye. But what I found out was there are several different types of black dye. The oil dye that my dad had that was really old is a nice dark flat black, but the newer dye that I bought from Amazon has kind of a slight metallic sheen to it. I don't know if it's because of the chemicals that are used in it. There's kind of like a alcohol base that evaporates really quickly, and I actually ran out. They say that the reviews were saying that you could use one bottle for like 2 jackets or some crap. That's way far off. I got about 3/4 through and had half a sleeve and the left front side of my jacket when I ran out of the new stuff. Luckily my dad had a bottle of the older black oil dye, and that looked great. So what I'm hoping is I'll spread some leather honey on the jacket because it was pretty dried out. I mean, it was just sucking up the dye like crazy. So I'll spread some leather honey on it, get it conditioned pretty good, and see if that flattens it out. It's not real noticeable except maybe by me because I did the work, but overall, I mean, man, that jacket went from looking gray and brown to just being jet black. So it looks pretty cool now. I don't usually wear it because it's a fairly thin jacket compared to this thicker Ducati Laguna Seca jacket. I think it's the 1972. That's what it says on the shoulder badge. So I'm guessing the model of the jacket is 1972. But it's not as thick, so on colder days it gets really cold, and I imagine in a crash it probably wouldn't protect as well, but it's got all the crash protection padding and stuff in it. So that's not a huge deal, and knock on wood, I've never wrecked on the street, so whatever. We'll see. I need to get that jacket wet to see if it's actually going to like leak any dye and dye my skin black if I get caught in the rain. So that's part of why I'm going to use the leather honey, to try to give a little rain protection and seal that stuff in. Otherwise, the dye was really easy to spread. It comes with a little cotton brush. It's like a cotton ball brush on a metal wire, and you just dip it, try to dab off the excess inside the bottle, and then wipe. And just try to get it as even as you can. So, anyway, for those who don't know what I've been up to, I moved from California to Maryland and took a new job. I'm now working for ZeniMax Online. I wanted to live closer to my family. I've been going to grad school and working out at Obsidian Entertainment for the last 3.5 years, grad school for 2 years. So my wife and I have been doing this long distance thing for 5 years, and I wanted to finally move closer to home. She's just about done with law school in Ohio, so I gotta drive back. We take turns driving back and forth. But I mean, I've gotten to see her now much more than I ever did while I was living out in California. There's a chance we might move back eventually, but I'm really liking ZeniMax Online. Got a lot of cool people working there. They go all the way back to like Dungeons and Dragons, pen and paper games, and all kinds of board games, and some really cool people. So I'm doing content design, like smaller boss encounters, quest writing, adventures, a lot of the gameplay kind of stuff. So it's a fun job. Overall, Baltimore is quite a bit different, but some stuff is kind of the same. The traffic can get really bad on the Beltway, especially if you're going toward DC. I wouldn't say it's quite as gridlocked as LA was, but just like LA, you just have to know the times to not be on the freeway. So I usually take the back roads like this to and from work. They're a little bit twisty. People usually aren't too retarded, waiting at stop signs and stuff. I'm gonna go after this dude. But you do have to be careful. I've had people just pull out right in front of me. I was turning left into my apartment complex, which has a turning lane, and then to the left and right, people have stop signs. And one of the times that I was pulling in, this person to the right of me just decides they're going to pull through the intersection as I'm trying to make a turn. And I've had people almost sideswipe me on the freeway and off. So you really have to be on your A game and watching out for unattentive drivers. I'm not going to go into socio-political economic reasons for why education might be different in extremely wealthy Orange County versus pretty poor Baltimore, but that might have a little something to do with it. But I have yet to run into any real dickheads. Everybody seems pretty nice. The population density is quite a bit different. In SoCal, especially in Orange County, it seemed like the vast majority of the people were Caucasian and of Asian descent, and then, well, and Hispanics over in Santa Ana. There's a really diverse area. I mean, LA is just like, you got people of all cultures, races, whatever. I don't like using the term race because we're all the human race. That shit goes back to the racist pre-20th century and even the 20th century, but that point aside, in Baltimore it seems like it's, I don't know what the split is, but a lot of African Americans. It's been kind of refreshing to actually live in a different area and see a lot more black folks around. Otherwise, I mean, colors change, but still got the same restaurants, still got the same stuff going on. We got Ren fairs out here. Been having a hard time trying to find motorcycle events and forums. It's like, that seems kind of non-existent. I mean, even trying to find like a squid forum has been hard. And they got tons of people, like, I've seen videos on YouTube of kids in the inner city pulling wheelies on dirt bikes. So I don't get why there isn't a bigger online presence for motorcycling, but I guess I'll just keep searching. If anybody knows anything, drop me a comment or send me a message, because I'd like to go out more. Right now I'm just kind of part of the reason why I haven't been posting up is I've just been working. Work, go home, watch some movies, drink some beer, rinse, repeat. Or driving home to Ohio and visiting with family. So, but weather's dropping. It's getting chilly out. So I guess I'll have to play with more videos, how-to tutorials, and gadgets. So that's all for today. And all that time that I was talking, I wasn't really feeling my butt much, so it's a good sign for the seat reshaping. Still kind of think the middle part could get lowered a little bit, flatten it out, maybe scoop out the lower seating area. I think it still has a slight bit of that gradual curve that I was complaining about in the other video, so might go back and do that next weekend or over Thanksgiving or something. But coming up, I should have some more tutorial videos. I'm going to do chain adjustment, which is kind of a no-brainer for people who've had a single-sided swing arm in the past, but for people who've never had a single-sided swing arm, it is a little bit confusing, especially since Diavel doesn't come with a spanner wrench for adjusting the chain. I'm also going to do a complete brake and clutch bleed tutorial. I've got a really cool tool that lets you reverse inject the brake fluid from the bottom up rather than sucking it out and then refilling from the top. Makes those jobs much faster. And a few other things. I know I'm going to go through my gear as well at some point and show what I wear and why I wear it. And probably just some BS blogs about the work I'm doing at Cinemax Online. Can't talk too much about it due to NDA, and the game's not out yet, but it's looking like a cool project, and if you're into MMOs or the Elder Scrolls, then it's going to be pretty awesome. So, I will catch you guys later, and if you have any questions or comments, leave them at the bottom. Thank you for watching.